it is a late night weekend smash of sundry news and sports. A very special edition. Not because I just didn't do it any earlier. It's totally on purpose. And we'll start with Cowboys Wire, brought to you by USA Today. Hitman, contract killer, La'el Collins is Cowboys' best offensive tackle. Who saw that coming? I thought we weren't supposed to glorify violence. Just saying. The Dallas Cowboys still have an abundance of wealth along the offensive line, even with the retirement of Travis Frederick. Truth be told, the center... something. I don't know. Cowboys news. O-line's rank, Gregory's holdup, CD's legacy. I believe we read that already. Cowboys news, Collins is a killer, ranking Dak, Zeke among peers. Ranking Dak and Zeke among peers. As the days go by and it gets closer and closer to NFL training camp, more protocols and league changes make their way to the something, and I guess I didn't read this yet, so we will do that. Okay. As the days go by and it gets closer and closer to NFL training camp, more protocols and league changes make their way to the players. There will be no interaction between players after the clock reads 0. Geez, that's going to be so demoralizing. And no jerseys will be exchanged in 2020. Naturally, this set off plenty of NFL players in finding that this ruling is just plain silly after 60 minutes of aggressive contact. While the NFL offseason calendar remains quiet, the media continues to jot down their lists and start to rank some of the premier positions in the league. Of course, these lists come with their flaws and sometimes even intrigue some players to chime in once in a while if they don't agree. The Cowboys are ranked in the top 10 when it comes to being one of the NFL's most complete teams in the league headed into 2020, and one prediction even has them as the number 1 overall seed in the NFC. The closer training camp gets, the more these lists and rankings can start to gain some steam. This is today's Cowboys news. Yes, La'el Collins. The Cowboys Wire continues their player profiles as the countdown towards the new season continues. La'el Collins is up next and is considered the top offensive lineman in the 2020 Dallas Cowboys. Players react quickly to NFL's new and ridiculous COVID safety protocols. Finally, at least something is being acknowledged as ridiculous in relation to COVID. The NFL passed a rule that would not allow physical exchanges in post-game between players, including one of the more popular traditions of jersey swaps. NFL players aren't having it. Ranking the NFL's top 10 quarterbacks for 2020. Who follows Patrick Mahomes? It's not Dak. The Cowboys franchise quarterback lands at number 9 on this list, right behind Carson Wentz and Tom Brady, but ahead of Matthew Stafford. A tweet from Dallas Cowboys. How can Neville Gallimore contribute his rookie season? Defensive tackle position breakdown from DallasCowboys.com. Dalvin Cook would be better than Ezekiel Elliott with Cowboys, says NFC exec. ESPN series continues with a ranking of running backs, and BR picked up on this crazy quote. What is B/? Oh, Bleacher Report. Picked up on this crazy quote that pretends Cook hasn't had major injury issues since coming into the league. Elliott does not agree with his ranking, not one bit. A tweet from Marcus Mosher says, one NFL offensive coach ranked Cowboys running back Ezekiel Elliott as the 11th best running back in the NFL. Very few breakout runs. Doesn't look as strong anymore. Feels like he's about 60 to 70% of what he was. And Zeke says, whoever that is faded, LOL. It depends on what other threats we have, because obviously opposing defenses have learned that they need to target Zeke. So we need to make them afraid of our other weapons. But yeah, he is held back a little bit more than he was before. That doesn't mean that he's not as good. That means that other defenses are working harder to target him. One player each NFL team can't afford to lose next offseason. And if the franchise tag is played on, Bleacher Report puts franchise quarterback Dak Prescott on this list of players teams will not be able to afford to lose at the conclusion of the 2020-21 season. Mailbag. Al Harris's impact on the cornerbacks? The Cowboys have a completely new look coaching staff. That doesn't sound right. Headed into training camp. Former NFL cornerback and player under head coach Mike McCarthy, Al Harris brings his aggressive ball-hawking skill set from the field to the sidelines. Cool. Will Jeff Heath's departure mean a new Cowboys team captain in 2020? Jeff Heath was one of the Cowboys captains in 2019. With his departure, it leaves a spot to fill. Okay, so the answer to the question is yes. Read why Xavier Woods, Leighton Vander Esch, and even Ezekiel Elliott could fill this captain's role nicely. NFL's most complete teams in 20? Ravens, 49ers, Chiefs top the list. NFL.com has the Cowboys ranked number 7 on this list. In addition, a bold statement is made in saying the Cowboys offense can lead them to the number 1 overall seed in the NFC. Yeah, it can. Doesn't mean will. Ranking the NFL's top 10 running backs for 2020. Who's best of the big 3? ESPN polled over 50 NFL executives to compile this list, and Cowboys running back Ezekiel Elliott ranks as number 3, behind Panthers runner Christian McCaffrey and New York Giants Saquon Barkley. That sounds pretty good. And that's it. Going back. Ravens announce attendance cap. Yep, we've read that one before. Okay, I never clicked on it before, but what about Cowboys? Cowboys news. Patrick to Prescott correlation. COVID protocols. Dez no call. I believe I already read that. And there is no Patrick to Prescott correlation. Just shut the fuck up. Gallimore. NFL and Players Association, discussing player opt-outs. Cowboys Ezekiel Elliott over COVID. Yep. Then he's got the antibodies. Donates $85,000 to families in need. Training camp is not at Oxnard. Shocking. Nobody knew that was going to happen. They were only told that they're not allowed to practice outside of their home. And from today, Cowboys Wire has the same top story. Cowboys news. O-lines rank. Gregory's holdup. CeeDee's legacy. I believe that was the same then. Cowboys news. 2 coach quarterback duos for the ages. Cooper's wide receiver ranking. That sounds new. From July 11th. Yep. The Dallas Cowboys have had on the most dramatic... I believe you mean have had one of the most dramatic off-seasons in the league with regards to personnel changes. A mostly new coaching staff has brought in a number of new faces, especially along the defensive front. What level of performance should be expected in Mike Nolan's new scheme? Kellen Moore, one of the few retentions, has a lot of positives to build on from his first season calling plays, including his encouraging use of analytics in the game plan. The Cowboys' rich history is full of many accolades and accomplishments. In a ranking of the greatest coach-quarterback duos ever, Dallas managed to be the only team with 2 different pairings in the top 10. You may be able to guess the duos, but continue reading to find out where he landed on the ranking. Drew Pearson remains on the biggest Hall of Fame snubs in the league. Not one of the biggest. And Amari Cooper is graded as one of the best wide receivers in the league today. Position breakdown. Defensive tackles. Defensive tackle, along with cornerback, is littered with fresh faces on the roster. Neville Gallimore is a promising prospect. Tristan Hill should improve in a year or two. What's with all these words left out? And Gerald McCoy and Dontari Poe are a force that the Dallas defense has lacked in recent years. all aspects of the position discussed on this Cowboys positional breakdown. Ranking NFL offenses by analytics usage. Analytics in sports are an ever-increasing presence and can be used to benefit teams in a multitude of ways. Hayden Winks from RotoWorld dove deep into the analytics each offense used last year, and you might be surprised where the Cowboys rank in a number of the categories. NFL's 20 greatest coach-quarterback duos. Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes looking to join list. Throughout the years, the NFL has had many great coach-quarterback tandems, but 2 of the top 10 combinations in history helped to grow the Cowboys fan base into what it is today. Continue reading on CBS Sports to find out where the duos of Troy Aikman and Jimmy Johnson and Roger Staubach and Tom Landry stand in the all-time ranks. A tweet from Fox Sports NFL. CD3 Dallas Cowboys. Okay, so it's just a picture of CeeDee Lamb wearing his number 88 jersey at the Cowboys facility. Cool. Brian Westbrook. There's no reason why the Cowboys can't be successful running and throwing the football. Yeah, there's no reason, except that we have a quarterback who, for some reason, I don't know why, never seems to get results. Former Eagles, okay, not never, but he doesn't get all the results that it seems like he should. Former Eagles running back Brian Westbrook had some high praise for the Dallas offense. Hear him explain firsthand how the Cowboys can continue to put up points in the upcoming season. Dallas Cowboys, who do you got in the Battle of the Connors? What does that mean? Oh, okay. There's an assumed battle for left guard as the Cowboys enter July's training camp. It could be Connor Williams or Connor McGovern. Okay. Best routes for rookie NFL wide receivers. Why CeeDee Lamb's out? Brandon Ayuk's screen are unstoppable. What? With Amari Cooper and Michael Gallup running their deeper routes on the outside of the 2020 Cowboys offense, this should leave plenty of room for rookie wide receiver CeeDee Lamb to run his favorite and most effective route, the out, underneath. Oh, okay. Why CeeDee Lamb's out? Okay, so that shows possession. And Brandon Ayuk's screen are unstoppable. Okay. Tweet from Bobby Belt. Whew, Gerald McCoy looking svelte in his work with Coach B.T. Jordan. Svelte. That's a good word.
Good right there, yes sir. Right there, yes sir, boy. Yes sir. Good work. Good work, boy. Yes sir. Good shit. Right there, yes sir. Make it. Yes sir. Hands up, hands up. Good right there, yes sir. Good work. Okay, good, sir.
There's a lot of yes sirs. What are the best and worst case scenarios for the 2020 Cowboys? The Cowboys can finish 6-10 in 2020, or they can finish 11-5. This is the definition of 2 opposite extremes. Find out how they finish with these complete opposite records for this upcoming season. Every NFL team's best player who is not enshrined in the Pro Football Hall of Fame yet. The Cowboys have a long list of deserving players for the Hall of Fame, but Drew Pearson, wide receiver on the 1970s NFL All-Decade team, remains the biggest Dallas snub to date. Ranking the NFL's best wide receivers for 2020. Execs, players, coaches debate the top 10. ESPN is compiling rankings from NFL players, coaches, and front office members. Ezekiel Elliott was the 3rd running back, and Dak Prescott was top 10 as well. Amari Cooper completed the trio, ranking 10th in the NFL at one of the most loaded positions in the league. Good for us. Going back. Cowboys news, yes. Spirit of 76, the year the Dallas Cowboys were red, white, and blue. That one's pretty old. Cowboys news, Patrick Prescott, nope. Attendance cap, Gallimore, and training camp at home. Okay. Very good.